Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are tackling one of the biggest headaches for new Python programmers, which, believe it or not, is also the secret to its genius: empty space. So if you've ever stared at that bright red indentation error, you've probably screamed this exact question at your screen, right? Why does Python care so much about a few spaces? Well, the answer isn't just some random technical rule. It's really the key to understanding Python's entire philosophy. You know, a lot of other programming languages use things like curly braces or keywords to group code together, and honestly, it can get kind of messy. Python? It just throws all of that away. Instead, it uses the empty space at the beginning of a line. And this isn't a style suggestion. It's the law. The white space is the structure of your program. Here's the mental model that's going to make this all click for you. Just think of your code like it's an essay outline. Your main points, like a function definition, are all the way on the left. But the supporting details, the code that goes inside that function, are indented underneath. It's that simple. You're visually showing the relationship between lines of code. Okay, so how does Python know when a new indented block is supposed to start? Well, it looks for one simple, really elegant signal: the colon. Anytime you see a colon at the end of a line, think of it like a trigger. It's Python's way of telling you, hey, pay attention. The next line has to be indented because it belongs to this one. So this right here, this is the core contract you make with Python. It's a two-step deal. Step 1, a statement, like a for loop or an if condition, ends with that colon. That's the signal. Step 2, you have to fulfill your end of the deal by indenting the very next line. That simple action creates the new code block and ties it all together.
All right, let's see what happens when you break this contract. We're going to start with the most obvious error of all, the one that stops your code dead in its tracks before it even gets a chance to run. So take a look at this simple for loop. Line 1 does its job, right? It sets up the loop, and it ends with a colon. It's raised the signal flag. But then look at line 2. The print statement is at the exact same level as the for loop. It's completely ignoring the signal. And because we broke that contract, Python immediately throws a fit. It's not happy. It saw the colon, it was expecting an indented block on the next line, but it found nothing. So boom, it raises the infamous indentation error and just refuses to go any further. The fix, of course, is incredibly simple. All we have to do is add some spaces, usually 4 is the standard, before that print statement. This one tiny change fulfills the contract. It tells Python, okay, this print statement belongs inside the for loop. And just like that, the error vanishes. Now, let's talk about the much trickier case. This is the logical error. This is where your code runs perfectly. You don't get any red error messages, but it quietly gives you the wrong result. This is where mastering indentation really separates the pros from the beginners. At a glance, this code looks totally fine. We've got a list of numbers, a variable to hold the total, and a for loop. The goal here is simple: add up all the numbers and then at the very end print the final sum. But that's not what this code actually does. See, when you run this, you see the total getting printed after every single addition. First, it prints 1, then it prints 3, then it prints 6. The code runs without crashing, so what on earth is going on here? Well, the clue, as you might guess, is right there in the indentation. This slide just shows the incredible power of a few spaces. On the left, that print statement is indented, which means it's trapped inside the loop. It has no choice but to run on every single iteration. But on the right, by simply undenting it, by moving it back one level, we've moved it outside of the loops block. Now it waits patiently until the whole loop is finished, and then it prints the final correct total just once. So the huge takeaway here is that indentation isn't just about avoiding those annoying crashes. It's about controlling the entire logical flow of your program. So let's lock in the rules to help you really master this. Okay, this really brings it all home. Remember, indentation is what defines code blocks. That colon is the signal that an indented block is required. If you forget to indent, you get a syntax error and your program stops. But if you misplace that indent, you get a subtle, sneaky logical error that just gives you the wrong answer. Getting this right is the key to writing clean, correct Python code. And that leads to the final shift in mindset. The next time you're writing Python, don't look at indentation as a chore. See it as a superpower. It's this amazing tool you get to use, for free, to make your code's logic and structure instantly obvious to anyone who reads it. Because in Python, white space isn't a bug, it's its most important feature.